Hi everyone. The goal of this very brief and hopefully informative video is to inform our viewers as to the types of home ownership and the very beneficial form of home ownership for New Yorkers aged 50 and up. I'll refer to those as aging New Yorkers. The typical primary residence is usually either real property, a home that you live in, a condo or a co-op, and we're often asked, as aging New Yorkers, are there any issues connected to just having the properties be titled on your name or the name of yourself and your spouse? And the answer to that is, for the vast majority of New Yorkers, yes. It is a very disadvantageous form of ownership to just have it be on your name, your spouse's name, or even jointly owned with your spouse. And the reason for that is, as aging New Yorkers, there's a very high risk of creditor, and that creditor being either a nursing home, Medicaid, some sort of a medical provider, hospital bills, or of course it could be if you have a high-risk business that you own or operate. But for the vast majority of average New Yorkers, it is that impending doom of potential nursing home and medical costs. And unfortunately, it happens to be that Medicaid does collect against a home in your estate. And if you're in a nursing home, they will place the lien on your home during your lifetime. So to own it outright in your name or the name of your spouse is absolutely not advisable for the typical New Yorker. So what we generally recommend is to transfer your home into an asset protection trust. And to just give a very brief overview, an asset protection trust ensures that creditors cannot lay claim to your home, whether it's a medical creditor or any other creditor. So your home is completely protected during your lifetime. Essentially, you would have the right to reside in your home your entire life until you or the last one of you and your spouse passes away. And of course, after passing away, another advantage of this type of trust is that probate is avoided, so that automatically the home would transfer to your children or your next of kin or whoever you designate in the trust. And various trusts are actually very flexible, so that if you tell me, for example, today that you want to leave it to your children, but in 20 years you may want to change that disposition to your grandchildren or other members of your family, we can preserve that flexibility in the trust as well. It's very important, of course, to have a properly drafted trust, because you want to make sure that tax advantages are preserved. You want to make sure that you preserve the step-up in basis, which is a key element in this type of asset protection trust. The step-up in basis essentially means that if you were just to transfer your home to your child or anyone else during your lifetime, that is a very big mistake, because you don't preserve the step-up in basis. So let me give you just a quick example. Let's say you buy your primary residence for $300,000. and it appreciates to $1 million at the time of your passing. Very common in New York, highly appreciated properties. So if you were during your lifetime to transfer this home to your child, they would have a carryover basis, meaning that if they were to sell, even after you passed away, they would pay a capital gains on the fair market value at the time of your passing, right? Let's assume that's the time that they sell. They would have to pay a capital gains tax and all of that appreciation, the $700,000 gain. And that could be a very hefty tax. However, if it is properly transferred, your real property, into this asset protection trust, the step up in basis takes place. The step up in basis means that when you inherit through a specific type of trust or as an inheritance, you will not pay any tax gain upon the sale, because according to the rules the IRS propounds, at the time of sale, it's the fair market value that the basis is stepped up to, so that at the time of the sale, if it's for $1 million, right, there will be no gains assessed from that $300,000 cost of your initial purchase. So that is a huge and very crucial key point to consider. That is one of the main reasons we never want to just transfer our property over during our lifetimes if it's meant to be used as our residence until we pass away. So, that key disadvantage to just deeding over or titling over our real properties to our children during our lifetimes is that. And of course, if you are transferring to a child, let's say your property didn't appreciate a lot, maybe you're thinking, oh, it's cheaper, I'll just do a deed to my child and I'll have the Medicaid benefits, it doesn't matter to me. Very unlikely in New York, but you have to also consider that whoever you're transferring to may have their own creditor risk issues, right? So you never want to be left without a place to live, and you want to protect your primary residence. You want to make sure that you are doing everything you can to preserve that property, the full value of it for your children, and then they get full tax advantages associated with that property. So of course, for more information, feel free to call our office. We can give you an overview, a telephonic overview, so that you don't have to come in until you're ready. The phone number here is 347-699-5529, and I look forward to speaking with you about your needs.